I am joined by Jacob Kelly, who I will get to in just a minute, because that's exactly what we want to talk about. Look, Kenya versus Tanzania, Gor Mahia, lots of action, Jacob, in terms of movement and traction going on with Kogalo over the last few days. CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, all that preliminary rounds of the competition going on. First of all, before we get to the discussion, Karibu Studio.
Thank you so much.
How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So let's have a look first at that Kenya versus Tanzania game. Your thoughts generally before we break it down.
The home match at Kasarani?
Yeah.
Generally, it was a bad day for us because we lost, especially to our rivals Tanzania. We had our bragging rights after the AFCON, but what I can say, it was really a big letdown because I knew first we had the home advantage. I knew we would maybe get a goal, but you can see we really lack in the striking force, especially inaonekana vizuri, like we depend on Olunga.
Yeah.
Because you could see the game was really blunt. There was no firepower. And again, you come to question the tactics of Coach Sebastian because it was such a defensive game.
Right.
The guys who played the first game in Dar es Salaam, around 7 people didn't play the home match. And you could see the formation, it was all defensive. Why are we defending at home? And we needed the points because we had already drawn away, so it was added advantage for us. But anyway, Tanzania got the better of us. Even though ilikuwa na tumetoka
ukweli.
Imagine.
And you know the thing is, even Tanzania coach Ndairagije, the new Tanzanian coach, actually made testament to what you're saying, and he said that he was very surprised, he and his team were very surprised during the game in the first few minutes that we decided to fall back at home. And he said the minute he realized that those were the tactics that Minye was applying, he changed the style of play and told them attack.
Yeah, we are usually told the best attack is the best offense is a strong defense. But you see, even in AFCON, you could see, we were not attacking. We were usually, it's like Minye's tactic is defensive. It's the same as Mourinho, and he usually plays with one striker. Because even at Kasarani, at home, why play one striker? He only played locally, the Kariobangi Shark striker. He's a good fella, but you could see he was isolated at front, same as Olunga in AFCON. Then it comes about again the fielding. There were questions which were being asked. You see, like Masika, the Wazito player, quite talented. We have Osok, we have Kip Kirui of Gor Mahia, but all of them, they weren't even in the bench. They're in the terrace. So again, you come, you question his parading of his forces. It's a little bit, it's raising eyebrows.
Yeah. And what do you think it says about the quality of players we have now? Because as you're saying, we have a tendency of playing with one striker up front. And then a lot of people were thinking, look, Alan Wanga will actually do something in the CHAN qualifiers, and then he retired. So do you think that dissuaded Minye's plans, so to speak?
Nah, I wouldn't say that, because Alan retired way long time ago. Just
about
after AFCON, So, and you're in camp with the players, so I'm sure he had his tactics. But in a come back again, we lack goals. Hatuna mabao. Shida ni hatuna mabao. And I don't know why he's sticking to one striker, because nikiona formation yetu, somehow we are sitting back and allowing the opponent to come at us. Because you could see there was zero attacking, it was a bad performance.
Right.
Or concerning Alan Wanga is one of the best players. He's actually the best striker I know currently local. But I don't know, sometimes the coach might not come across his eyes, maybe akuoni. Maybe it's something personal, we don't know. But if it's personal, that's bad, because generally we're talking about the country Kenya, and I wouldn't like coming out of CHAN, especially to Tanzania. Nah, if it was another bigger country like Ghana, we could have, Tanzania. Tuseme tu kweli, ni wanyonge wetu. Ni wanyonge wetu, hatufai kwa hivyo.
Taifa Stars ni wanyonge.
But again, it comes to their league and our league. Look at their Simba Day and is it Yanga Day? Packed, 70,000. Look at the Kasarani game, no spectators.
Actually, that's another thing I wanted us to get to later, but we might as well talk about it now. Lack of the 12th man, Kelly. What was going on? Because, I was there personally. We did a link for the news at around 1 p.m. on that day. So tulikuwa tunadhani labda, it's just slowly streaming in. Maybe the fans will get more packed as kickoff approaches at 4 p.m. I would actually estimate it at 5,000 fans, though when I talked to FKF, they said that it was 10,000. Do you believe that?
No, it's about numbers that I don't know. But you can see people are not into Harambee Stars. Maybe unless people pack the stadium if they know it's maybe Everton or Hull City, meaning they're going to see the foreign players and all that. But it comes and tells you like somehow people are not satisfied with the national team, because you could see it was empty. I myself never went, and I live in Kasarani. I opted not to imagine.
Are you feeling disconnected from the state of football right now?
Okay, I won't lie, I am disconnected, because you can see, like, how do I say, when players are being marginalized, you can see like someone is of good quality, is not in the squad. Then when people rant on Facebook, these groups and everything, someone is called. You know, it asks like, is mean like experimenting. Why do mbona watu wakiulizia mtu all of a sudden anaweka kwa kikosi? Like this striker from Tusker. It's called, I don't know, Mwiruri or who. He didn't go for the first leg. Then people talk on social media and everything. Then he's being recalled on Wednesday. You know, it asks you like, coach, don't you have your own plans? Don't you stick by your rules or your standards? So, but I would say Kenyans right now, are you satisfied with the Harambee Stars, even you personally?
Right now, Kelly, it's about you.
No,
but yes.
I'm not, because it's a disappointment. Kwanza, a goalless draw at home, then even at least tungekuwa na attack. There was no attack in that game. It was a boring game, in fact. I watched it on TV, and you could see even the fans going home, they're just saying, let's just wait for EPL. You see, even now Kenyans were excited about EPL.
Yeah.
In Tanzania, they're excited about their league.
Exactly.
They hype their players. Kahata is a very good friend of mine. The moment he signed in Simba, his Instagram page went to 10,000 likes, and you know, you wonder, people really follow. They buy jerseys, original. Which Kenyan club even sells original
there's a genuine love and support.
Genuine love. Look at their celebrities.
Right.
They're wearing their jerseys. They hype, they remove songs. But us,
which celebrity is donning the national jersey? It tells you even
watu wana imani na national team. Hata mimi sina. Even AFCON, let's just say, as much as ndasema nini, wacha niwapatie tu benefit of the doubt, they qualified for AFCON. But we knew we were going to be hammered. We just knew Tanzania was our game in AFCON. We know it. Our levels are very low. First of all, there is no stadium in Kenya. Kasarani, Machakos was banned. It cannot hold CAF games.
Right.
Imagine Bandari have to come all the way from Mombasa to Nairobi. They could have used the weather advantage, the home advantage. It's like they're playing away again. You want to tell me the whole county of Mombasa, we can't have a stadium?
It's also about how sport is viewed in Kenya. You know, it's funny that you've mentioned Machakos. You're seeing the likes of Nyayo Stadium over 2 years later, still. You know, despite some months ago, I think 3-4 months ago, us being promised about a launch of the stadium. You know, you have a look at Kasarani being the only functional stadium right now. Let's not even talk about Toyoyo. Because the state of that pitch is a different story entirely. But before we get to all that, going back to another point that you talked about, masilahi ya wachezaji. Lots of allegations going on about the Chan squad, the Kenyan Chan squad, not being paid their dues, despite the fact that for AFCON, the players were really looked after, but for Chan, there was a marginalization, as you've put it. What are your thoughts?
Marginalization has always been, especially concerning local players. When it's something concerning local players, they don't look after our needs. You can't tell me if it was Akina Wanyama, Akina Masika, they will be paid. It just shows you they have no respect. They don't value us. How can you be in the national team and you're not paid? Tanzania, everybody here, they were given 200,000. Just for camp, not even playing. It shows you the standards. Can you really go and play your heart out? And you know very well, even your pockets, you have nothing. You're donning the jersey of the country. What do you mean you cannot pay 25 people? Our whole country, we are around what? 50 million. We cannot pay 25 people. It just shows you, like, are they making that effort? Why should you make that effort in the pitch? Inaonyesha tu, and it will show it inaonyesha tu on the pitch. Because actually there's another thing I've noticed with these Harambee Stars. They don't have that zeal. They don't play their heart out. You know, players, you don't need to be a great coach. You just need to motivate. Unachocha. You make them pumped up. You can see the fierceness that they want it. Look at Klopp, what he's done to Liverpool. It is attack. And even people on the bench, when we have a chance, anaingia running.
I mean, look at Origi, you know. And I want us to talk about Sebastian Minye. We'll see if we do have that bite from him just post-game after Kenya versus Tanzania. And he was just very defiant, to say the least. I don't know if you saw that or if you read about it. He was so defiant in his stance, Kelly. What did you make of it?
At this moment, he shouldn't be defiant because the results, they are they're pathetic. We haven't won anything. It is only AFCON where we won against Tanzania. And even that game of Tanzania in AFCON, kidogo yo game tulikuwa tunalala. Ilikuwa tricky, Olunga magic hapo ikatusaidia. So, even when people questioned, I don't know his contract, if he should leave, he just said, I'm not going anywhere. He's telling us bluntly, I'm not going anywhere. Which coach in the world says that?
Exactly.
I mean, nobody says that.
We actually have it right now. Let's have a look at what national team head coach Sebastian Minye had to say after that loss to Tanzania.
You're negative people, no? You know, when I signed in Kenya, I knew it was not Ghana, it was not Senegal, it was Kenya. So I knew it will be difficult to resign. After, you have to see with my president, I'm under contract, but I think it's already difficult to pay me. If they need to pay my full contract, it will be difficult also. So,
strong words from Sebastian Minye there. Before we continue with the conversation, by the way, as I said earlier, CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup preliminary rounds are currently going on. So just for quick context, Gor Mahia will be away to Sudan. Their game is tomorrow afternoon. But today, it's all about Bandari, who will be hosting Al Ali Shandi from Sudan at the Kasarani Stadium. Our very own Warote is there, so we will be sure to link up with him in the next bit of the show. Let's continue with the conversation and wrap up on the Harambee Stars. What needs to happen next? Look, we're out of the CHAN qualifiers. 6th time that we have not made it for the African Nations Championship. Let's not even talk about what happened last year but one with us hosting it, possibly hosting it. And then lackluster performance at the Nations Cup, Kelly. What happened?
If it doesn't work, you change it. That is what I know. And kidogo pale na mimi, I don't see it working because we've somehow gone down even in football-wise. And when things arise such as allowances, you know, that's demoralizing. 2019, a player should not be complaining about allowances. So my take is something needs to be done. Because ukiangalia the arrogance even of the coach is like, you can't do nothing. I do get what his point was, what he said, but it is the wrong place to address it. You don't address it hadharani. Hiyo ni kitu ya kando. So what needs to be done? First of all, we have a crisis. SportPesa is leaving. So players are going to suffer. I don't know even how it is going to be this season. Because really, SportPesa has done a lot to the league. I don't know how it is, how the local league is going to be. Kama the national team wanadharau wachezaji hivyo, unaona lipi, surely will the results be there? Haiwezekani.
Wow, okay. Let's actually move from that conversation for just a bit because we are able to get Warote Kiru, who's currently at the Kasarani Stadium. Warote, we know it's Bandari versus Al Ali, just not the Al Ali that we're normally used to. So let us know, how's everything going on there? Is there atmosphere?
Thank you very much, Aida. I am at the Kasarani Stadium, and inside the stadium it's pretty empty. A lot of the people you'll find here, the journalists, the match officials, the team's already filling the ground. Just a couple of minutes before kickoff, it is Bandari from Kenya taking on Al Ali Shendi from Sudan. They were third in their league. They have a new coach, but they said they're here for a win. As for Bandari, they had a very good outing in the last season, winning the SportPesa Shield, finishing second to Gor Mahia in the Kenyan Premier League. But one thing about them that you can't take it away from them is their fans. And let's just listen in to their fans for a minute before I have a chat with them. Aba, iya, shaba, iya, shaba, iya, jinja, 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 There you have it, now. Let's have a chat with one of them. Habari ya leo?
Mzuri sana.
Sawa basi. Kila wakati nikija kushabikia watu tazama mechi za Bandari ndio wapata nyinyi ambao ni mashabiki sugu sana. Niambie kuhusu nyinyi.
Okay, kwa jina naitwa Rashidi. Jina maarufu ni Chengesi. Ni fans leader Bandari FC. Sisi leo tumekuja hapa kama kuwakilisha Kenya na kuwakilisha shirika la Kenya Port Authority ambao ni wawakilishi wa Kenya katika hichi kikombe kinachoendelea. Okay, by the way, football is football. Siwezi sema we are going to win or to do what. Hiyo yote tunache nini? Mwenyezi Mungu ndiye anayejua. Sababu kwa mara ya kwanza sisi ndo tunaanza kuwakilisha Kenya kwa mara hii kwa hichi kikombe, lakini hao wenzetu ni wazoefu hizo game. Lakini kwa Mungu
na moja basi zungumza na labda binti hapa moja. Habari ya leo?
Salama salama.
Bandari umekuja kushabikia, niambie kuhusu hiyo. Naambia umekuja kushabikia Bandari kwa nini?
Kwanza kwa majina naitwa Matilda. Ni secretary wa Bandari Fans Club. Sisi tuna imani na timu yetu, bali tunamweka Mungu mbele. Hichi CAF ni very important kwa timu yetu and we love our team. They've been performing very well. Very very well. So tunaomba Mungu. Tunakuja kuwashabikia kama timu zingine zinavyoshabikiwa. So tunakuja tuwashabikie wa timu zetu, tufurahi pamoja. Hata tutakaposhindwa, Sudan wakishinda, sote tutakubali. Kwa lazima katika any competition there must be a loser and a winner. So we only depend on God atusaidie tuweze kushinda. Yes.
Kwa majina naitwa Dreda Wanjala, mimi sugu wa Bandari FC, nimekuja kushabikia Bandari FC na nina imani na Bandari FC.
Mchezaji yupi wa Bandari ambaye ndio wewe unasema huyu ndio yule?
Mimi nasema wote ni wazuri.
Na una mechi itakuwaje leo?
Ati?
Una mechi itakuwa vipi leo?
Mimi naona leo tuweza toka Bandari 2-1.
Basi labda mmekuwa mkipiga densi sana hapa. Umetoka Mombasa leo ama jana?
Tumetoka jana. Tumefika.
Na vijana lazima muje mwashabikie.
Kabisa.
Na kila wakati kija hapa bara mnafika. Mnapenda vipi viwanja kule Mombasa vitengezwe ndio mmoja?
Tunataka viwanja vitengenezwe vizuri ndio at least hata watu wengine wakija wanaona uwanja uko sawa.
Serikali iliahidi kutengeza viwanja.
Governor, we are asking our governor Honorable Hassan Joho ajaribu kuona wakati ule ilikuwa kuna stadium itengenezwe kusudi game kama hizi zipate kuja Mombasa. So kama game kama hii kwa sababu ni ya Bandari ingekuwa ni home wakati tunachezea kule Mombasa National Stadium ambayo ingepata mashabiki wengi zaidi, japokuwa sasa tumekuja bali tungetaka kungekuwa na wengi zaidi ambao wanashabikia timu kutoka Pwani. So tunamwomba gavana wetu aweze kuharakisha hili swala la stadiums ndio timu zetu ziweze kucheza. Timu kama Bandari ambayo inawakilisha Kenya kwenye CAF iweze kucheza nyumbani, kama ni nyumbani iwe ni from Mombasa County 001.
Mombasa iwe timu ya Mombasa cheza kule, si lazima hapa bara.
Yes, tunataka timu ya Mombasa kama ni Bandari icheze Mombasa 001 County.
Sultan. Sasa wewe na umevaa jezi ya Borussia. Ya Bandari wapi?
Bandari jezi iko lakini iko kwa kiwanja. Mimi kifika kule naivaa. Kabisa. Timu yetu inafaa. Natembea na wakilisha. Ndio hii hapa.
La kuona na bendera hiyo, niambie utaipeperusha dakika zote 90?
Lazima. Maanake mimi hapa nishatia ndani kila siku niko sawa mimi. Hapa kazi tu hapa. Hapa kazi.
La hii timu ya Sudan unaona vipi?
Timu ya Sudan tushawazoea, maanaka ni mashemeji hawa. Lazima watakula zao 5, lazima tutaondoka leo usiku.
Labda basi mpige dance kidogo alafu zungumza labda kweli. There you have it. Those are the fans from Bandari and they say that they would love for a stadium to be constructed in Mombasa for them to be able to be playing the matches. But for now they have to come to Nairobi to play the matches, and just a couple of them, but they're making a lot of noise and they are sure to give their players a lot of support as they play the CAF Confederation Cup. For now, just a bit of the metal sound from the fans, and then we'll be going in and just looking at the players as they fill the ground, and it's just a couple of minutes to kick off.
Chinja.
normally you get vuvuzelas in the stadium. It's so normal that you get sa trumpet. Tuzungumze tu kuhusu chombo chako, naona kuja kushabikia Bandari, jezi unayo. Zungumza tu kuhusu chombo chako.
Hii ni aina ya trumpet ya toka Boston. Ndio tunatumia kwa kupigia uwanjani, kitoa sauti kwa sababu ya kuinua timu. Na tunapopiga tuna communicate na timu kuhusu attacks na kushambulia na kudefend. Sasa wanaelewa, tukipiga hivyo wanaelewa kwamba tunataka kufanya nini.
Maana nataka kusema hichi chombo unaweza kucommunicate na timu.
Nikipiga kama hivi, nikipiga kama hakuna lolote, warudi kwa defense.
Hebu fanya that one.
The team comes back. Hakuna lolote. Then kufunga tunapiga hiyo. Tunashambulia. Hiyo bao ndani. Haya. Nyingine ipo Kasere. Nyingine. Kanyaga. Piga hiyo Kasere. Piga. Bandari. Bila kubadilisha mtu. Akiingia kama mwingine anatoka. Huyo bwana harusi anaingia. Kufanya changes. Anaingia mwingine anatoka. Akiingia wao sasa tunaimba huyo bibi harusi. Kama ni wao wanaingia, tunachange huyo bibi harusi anaingia ni opponent.
Safi sana. Nendo shabikia timu yako. Asante sana. There you have it. Only on Top Sport you get this kind of content. Trumpet being used to deliver messages to the players, to the coaches. It's lovely to see what football fans can get up to. But that is just for now, from the Kasarani Stadium, Bandari will be playing Ali Shendi. And just to give you a bit of context from the match, Bandari have played the second time. This is the second time in CAF Confederation Cup. The last time out, they fell in the preliminary round to St. Eloi Lupopo, an aggregate of 3-1. I spoke to Coach Bernard Molala, and he said this time around, at least they want to get to the first round and then see how they take it from there. One of the key players last season who made them get to win the SportPesa Shield as well as finish second in the Kenyan Premier League is Farouk Shikalo. He's moved to Tanzania, but Coach Molala says there are players who are able to fit the shoes. They are in the market for a new keeper, but I've been inside the keepers who are going to play are the keepers who are undershadowing Farouk Shikalo. It is a big step up for them. They will hope at the end of 90 minutes they will have given Coach Molala a reason not to give their jersey to a foreign player. As far as Fali Mulumba, the captain for Bandari, had to say, they say they know what this competition means. They want to get their CVs out there in continental football. They want to sell themselves. So they are grateful for their sponsor, Kenya Ports Authority. Took them to South Africa for a couple of weeks of pre-season training. They went to the CECAFA Kagame Cup. They drew a lot of their matches. One of the areas that Coach Molala will have to work on is their attack. Incidentally, he was a striker when he played, so he told me that he wants them to convert the chances that they keep creating. However, they need to get away goal, a goal here, so that when they go away, they're able to protect it. And that means the defense has to be good and the attack has to be good. I'll give you updates of how the first half unfolds, but that's just it as far as atmosphere is like from the Kasarani Stadium as we build up to the CAF Confederation Cup between Bandari of Kenya and Ali Shendi of Sudan. But for now, back to studio.
You know, Warote, we're just here in studio, Makori and I na tunasema, nyewe, unatema madini. But good stuff. At least it looks a bit lively at Kasarani. Just a few points that I hope I will have the time to talk to Kelly about. Important points raised there, especially to do with the municipal stadium and the infrastructure surrounding Mombasa. Why do they have to travel, indeed, to Nairobi to play their games? Such an interesting point there. And of course, do Bandari really have the squad depth to be able to take on continental football? Look, we saw that with Kariobangi Sharks last season, and it dented them. And another thing, in terms of the goalkeeping department, I do believe that Ndikumana, right? Ndikumana should should be a Bandari player by now. He has since exited Sofapaka. Ndikumana, don't forget, is the Burundi. So in terms of what you're saying, they'll be sure to put out their CV out there in the continental platform and also try and convince Mwalala to give locally based players a chance. We'll see about that with Ndikumana. There's so much to talk about. Pia mimi nasikia tu kutema madini, lakini let me throw it over to Makori. I'm sure lots of social media traction going on. Makori, kukwaje huko? Matweet zinaingia. For now, the conversation continues with Jacob Kelly. Let's get to Gor Mahia. Octay left. What did you make of it? Polak in.
On the part of Octay, Gor Mahia were from CECAF in, was it Burundi or was it Rwanda? And they performed really badly. They didn't even reach the semi-finals. And what I can tell is after that, the coach bolted. He knew, because when he came back, Shakava left. He went there without Tuisenge. He went there without Kahata. We are talking about 3 big players in his first 11 left the team. They have made a couple of signings, 15, which is a lot. That is a very unit team. And most of what happens when you make such a large number of signings, you will struggle before you bond, before you gel. I'll have to make matters worse. It's another new coach. Everything is afresh. And to add salt to injury, the sponsor is gone. That's why Wazito have an upper hand advantage, because Kwanza they're splashing money bags. The signings that they have made, hey, Gor Mahia is going to have it tough this season. Another thing, Gor Mahia, they have signed like, I don't know, 5 players from their youth team.
Right, a lot of focus on youth academy players.
A lot, of which it is good. But end of the day, this is youth. We are talking about experience. Look at Wazito. Have they signed any youth player? Karim Zigimana.
Actually, Wazito have really focused on experience. They've signed former Gor Mahia players.
The speaker from Power Dynamos, the one was at Nzoia. Believe me, if you're an investor to a bet, my bet is on Wazito. Because it will be, starvation is coming to Gor Mahia, I won't lie, because they heavily depended on Sport Pesa. Yes, they won the league without the sponsor the other time. In fact, they did it unbeaten. But their fund really played a big role, because they had their, I don't know their number, their pay bill number.
There was a pay bill, yeah.
And they really pushed the team, walichangia team sana. The other team which I know it will struggle is FC Leopard. They are going to struggle, because even if you see their signings, kidogo, they don't look like the caliber to chase for the title. And again, you come again, starvation inakuja, there is no sponsor.
So what are you trying to say, Kelly? Are you saying that we might witness a shift in power when we talk about the Kenyan Premier League in the coming season?
In power, as in who will win the league?
Who will win the league? We've seen dominance from Gor Mahia over the last few seasons. Might we have a new champion by next year?
Probability, I'll say 90%, I think Wazito will take it. Because what I know...
Straight from the NSL to the top of the Premier League?
We did it in Sofapaka.
With Sofapaka.
I was at Sofapaka when we did it that year. From NSL, and we won the league.
But you know, Wazito didn't have quite a good KPL season in their debut.
Yeah, but they didn't have even the money. They had money problems. There was a time they went around 4 months without salary. That's why they were relegated. But as you can see now, look at the bus. Look how they're launching their players. They're training in Brookhouse.
They have medical cover.
Imagine. You should see even their coaches, the bands. They're training at Brookhouse. It tells a lot. Okay, it's good. It's good for to give Gor a challenge. Because how many years have they taken it? We are even used to them. They are winning this thing ever. So it's good. It will be a challenge to Gor Mahia. But believe me, Gor Mahia are going to have it tough this season. First, they've lost a lot of players. They have signed way too many new players. It's a new coach who is ana rada yote ya boli ya Kenya. And you know, Kenyan Premier League is a very fun league. You might go to the end and you're beaten.
But maybe the same could be said for Hassan Octay. He got Kogalo to their first ever CAF Confederation Cup quarter in what a lot of people are saying of the recent times has been the most memorable season for Kogalo. Same could be said for Dylan Kerr. You know, he got them to the KPL title as well. So is experience in the Kenyan Premier League a necessary criteria?
There's no way unaweza sema experience here necessary. Experience ever you in the day. Because if you talk about inexperience, look at Arsenal. All the years, they usually say team of the future. They usually put so many young players. And what have they ever won? True. Nothing. That's why I'm saying experience always wins the day. Yes, it's good to have a few players the youth team because pia juu growth na for the long term of the team you need young players, but end of the day experience, there are decisions which a young lad such as positioning, experience, you know, this ball is going here, this guy is going to run here, but you know, it takes time. That's why football is a very funny sport. Football, you have to start at a tender age. You cannot start playing football in high school and become success. No, you have to start at a very tender age. That's why it's called experience.
Let's focus on Polak, the Finnish coach, who's come in, the new Gor Mahia coach. From Asante Kotoko, which is a huge team in the western part of Africa, Ghana in particular. I was trying to have a bit of a feel of the coach, and I was asking some of my Ghanaian friends, how has this coach done, you know, in your country? They were a bit 50-50. Alafu tunajua sometimes coaches wao kuja Kenya kujenga CV. Kama wamejitoa, your thoughts?
Okay, I don't know him because maybe I didn't Google him that well, but all I can say, he's going to have it rough. Kwanza conditions pale Gor, those fans, they demand results weekend after weekend. A draw to Gor Mahia is a loss. They will beat you. How many coaches have we seen running to their heels because of the fans? He's going to have a lot of pressure, and to make matters worse, he has a very brand new team. I won't lie. On the part of Okte, the team didn't have that much movement in the transfer window. I don't know, they signed around 3 or 4. So the team remained intact, and you could see in their CAF. Look at how experience played.
Right.
They went far. But at the end of the day, we could just see it was another level. The Arabs are on another level. On the side of the coach, is going to have it rough because apparently they usually wrangle within the office. I don't know, living conditions. There were stories, tunaonanga kwa online stories zingine hata tuwezi sema hapa, sijui coach alikuwa anafanya ngapi.
Lakini hiyo siku tulisema because you know we had a one-on-one on Skype though with Dylan Kerr just after his exit from Gor Mahia, and I asked him and he told me, look, hata kuna siku alikuwa naoga kwa swimming pool, kuna siku alikuwa anafungiwa nyumba. He said it
He didn't even have electricity.
He did not have electricity. You know, a lot of times, you know, the Kenyan fans were really enthralled by Dylan Kerr. Mtu angemuona kwa barabara, maybe he's running, he's jogging.
Kwa kibanda.
Kwa kibanda. And he makes it look like he's, you know, intertwined with our culture. Mse hakuwa na hizi bana. So it's a bit tricky when we talk about the living conditions. And indeed, just the conditions generally, are they conducive for both coach and player, technical bench? That's a story for another day. Polak, the new coach of Gor Mahia, will have it all to do though in the new season. Huge players, heavyweights in the game, Kogalo, have since exited. Yes, Okte, the coach, has left, but as Kelly has put it, Shakava is out, Kahata is out. Tuyi Senge, who was the goal poacher of Kogalo, is also out. So we will see how Gor Mahia will do starting tomorrow in that CAF Champions League. Let's move on to some of the big news of the last week. Sport Pesa have officially pulled out in terms of sponsorship in the country. Huge blow, raises a lot of questions. First, your thoughts, Kelly.
Dark days for Kenyan football, I won't lie. Sport Pesa has really done a lot in football, even community-wise. They used to go to community teams and donate jerseys. I actually went to one of their clinics in Ruiru, and believe me, look at the people they have employed. When it comes now, they're the main sponsors of the league, isn't it?
Yes.
So where will the teams get money? That's when I say there's starvation coming. On the part of maybe Tuskers and Bandari, those are company teams, I'm sure they will get paid. But end of the day, come to these community-based teams, FC Leopard, Gor Mahia. And you know, they have a very huge, I don't know, how do I say, the salaries of the players and everything. Per month, I don't know, they spend around 14 million just in salaries. Where will the money come from? And to make, you know, a club is supposed to run itself through gate entrance fee, jerseys, replicas. Which team even has a shop where you can go get the jerseys? So how does the team get money? You know, sometimes you ask yourself, what do you get if you invest in Kenyan football? That's why there are no sponsors in Kenyan football. Because where is the money? Yeah. If people are not going to the stadiums, people are not buying jerseys. That's why clubs have a lot to think about. Because even if Sport Pesa exited, this club will still run because they have their fans to run it.
We saw the same thing happen. I think it was early last year, the first time that SportPesa pulled out in terms of sports sponsorship in the country. And there was a huge uproar and reaction to that. But it does beg the question, Kelly, and this is what we've been asking. What happened to the sports fund? Secondly, is it SportPesa's responsibility to cater to every sporting need in the country? What was happening before SportPesa were there? That's another question with another answer, because we do know that there were TV broadcast rights then. The situation has since changed. But is it SportPesa's responsibility? Is it the corporates' obligation to cater to us? Or are we supposed to make ourselves attractive enough to just have them come over?
Your last point is the main point. Make yourselves attractive. Manage the team in a manageable, so that sponsors come.
Right.
It's all about a management, because Kenya, we tunajulikana kukula. So sponsor, there was a time, okay, let me just mention the team. I was in Bandari United. Data network scheme. And by August, tulikuwa tunadai miezi 3. Sasa unashindwa, we have a sponsor. How are we not being paid? It all goes back to the management of the team. Because a sponsor can come, alafu wanaona hataki public image yake yaribe. Like the time Gor Mahia walikuwa na goma juu ya salary. SportPesa actually, they were saying you're ruining the image of the company. We sponsor you, we have paid you. Why do we see in the media you have not been paid? That's why I'm saying managing these teams. Like I told you, Tanzania, Yanga, Simba.
Let's talk about that, by the way, because that's what we're discussing over the break. Tuambia vile ulikuwa unatuambia Makori and I. Tell the viewers.
About the fans in Tanzania. The fans in Tanzania, us, we're excited about EPL. Imagine. People who are playing how many miles away. And we have our own leagues. In Tanzania, you go mention Manchester United, they look at it, they just say, Simba, mla mtu, team kubwa. They hype it. They have like, I don't know, 40 newspapers of the local just talking about football. The headlines. Simba kamla nani. You're wondering, hey, Simba alikula nani.
Yeah.
They love their league. They are passionate. Look at Simba Day. 70,000 full. Then the following day, Yanga Day, 70,000 full. Kenya. On a derby ya Kenya, Gor Mahia. Yeah, there's nothing, bana. Where is the hype? Where is there's nothing. Because first of all, pia Gor Mahia wakuwa na competition. FC wamekuwa kilimwa sana. Then again, it comes again, players are always running, hatujalipwa, sijui nini, nini.
There are too many wrangles.
Yeah, wrangles, yeah.
You know, I had a conversation with 2 people in the course of the week, 2 former players of the national team, one being James Ituma. I talked to him on Monday, and he was saying there's so much negative energy surrounding Kenyan football that it gets to a point that hata kama we ni shabiki sugwaji, it does get to a point where you feel overwhelmed. First thing. Second thing, I was talking to Boniface Ambani as well. And interesting that you've brought up the whole Tanzanian context, because he'd traveled to Tanzania over the last few days. As you might know, Boniface Ambani used to play for Yanga. And they had invited him. And he was just giving me his personal experience there. And he was telling me, the minute you set foot in the city, kila mtu anakuangalia. For the small kids, the 2 millennials who might not exactly know who you are, their parents are explaining to them, umse alikuwa anachezea Yanga, nini, nini. You're treated like a celebrity. Our former players, our current national players, with a few exceptions, maybe the likes of Olunga, the likes of Wanyama, they can easily walk past Nation Center, no one will know who they are. Uko TZ, you're a younger player, people are asking selfies, nini, nini. It's an amazing experience, Kelly.
Yeah. I traveled with Kawata when he was going to sign at Simba. So yeah, we actually won a cape and he said, staki mwadhara, staki kuonekana. Little did we know they were where he's coming. Ukifika hivi airport. Hey! The fans, jerseys, selfies, you feel proud. Actually, I got goosebumps when we were there. You know, you feel the love.
Yeah.
They're like, Kawata, karibu, karibu. I walked here, like you said, I walked here to Nation Center. Not even a single person could live in. And I'm a national team. I was player of the year, top scorer. You know, it shows you the interest of Kenyans. Atuko hapo. But ongelea manu sijui Arsenal nini. Hey!
Which actually we will get to all that in just a bit, because Makori will be handling some of the English Premier League fans in the country. By the way, hakuna ubaya, pendeni PL, pendeni Syria. Lakini pia tunasema in a way, yeah? charity begins at home. Let's love ourselves first before we can transfer that love to others. But also it's double-edged because there's also a responsibility to make something lovable in the first place.
Lazima pia uirembeshe, mtu aitamani,
you know. That's, indeed.
Because you could see even the Everton game, people came to see Walcott. That's why it was so full. People came to see Everton. They wanted to see the players that they watch in. Look at the Hull City game. And the following weekend, it is Harambee Stars. Where are the people? You ask yourself, there's something wrong.
Exactly. There definitely has to be change, and we hope that we can be part of the movement that exacts this change. Look, kidogo kidogo too, maybe after our generation, a bit more change, and hopefully siku moja tutafika. I want us to wind up the conversation, but I'm sure so many comments coming in. I'm going to throw it to Makori in just a bit. I will give it to you, Kelly. Final words for today.
For today,
concerning the state of football in the country.
The state of football, I'm calling on like maybe Nick Mwenda, the federation head, like to change matters, because football is going down the drains right now, especially to local players. I won't lie, a lot of people are not being paid. So many footballers. Then again, it comes about the salary that the players are getting right now. I'm not lying, there are people who are getting less than 40,000. And the current economical state, it's peanuts. So if it will come up with like a limit, like nobody should be paid below this, you know? And again, rights, the players inadhulumiwa sana. I won't lie, because mostly they view footballers as unlearned people. They usually see as you can't do anything, that's why you're just playing football. My appeal to the federation is like, first of all, we need another league sponsor. If SportPesa is out, football is a job. You wake up every day to go training. And you know, for you to be a footballer, it is the hardest profession. I'm not lying to you. It needs your heart and soul. You have to sleep, dream, eat. Football, it literally takes over your life. So even being with another side hustle, it's tricky. So what I could say is, please look for a sponsor for these players, because most of them, they have families, they wanategemewa. So hapo kwa sponsor, hiyo ndio kwanza ikuwe first priority, because it's a mode of living, people wanaitegemea. Hiyo tu ndio naweza taka federation for them, look for a sponsor as the earliest as possible.
Strong words, wise words there from former national player, former Kenyan Premier League winner, Jacob Kelly. We do wind things up on the Football Corner on that note, but Narushia Makori, don't go anywhere. Still so much sports. We keep talking about EPL. By that game between the first kickoff of today for Manchester City is currently on. Makori, over to you. Kuna kaje uko kwako?
Kuko vizuri Aida, wajua Jacob Kelly ni moja kati wanasoka ambao hii Kenya kiukweli walitenda haki wakati wao wakisukuma soka. Talanta ipo, wakatesa, leo hii wanatesa hapa ndani ya Top Sport. Iko vizuri Kuntu Kelly. Wacha nilete matwiti ndani, manake naona leo muko vizuri. Huyu anaitwa Fabulous Next Vegas. Nasikitika sana na hali ya soka nchini, mimi shabiki wa AFC, lakini sasa angalia changamoto zake na management na vyenye haya yote yanaangamiza timu. Sitaenda kuona mechi juu ya kuona tunataka kutumbuizwa kwanza mechi za kusisimka. Inamuuma sana huyu jamani wa Ingwe. Kuna ingine hapa ilikuwa nzito, ngoja inakimbia. Ilikuwa moja kati ya nzito sana. Nasema hizi timu mbili, Gor Mahia na AFC Leopards, wanafaa kujitegemea mbali na SportPesa kuondoka. So wamekuwa kiishi, hata wenyewe ni wazee kuliko hiyo SportPesa. Iweje leo hii wanahangaika? Imenitoka hii, lakini ni moja kati ya nzito. Kuna zile nimefungua, sasa sihangaiki tena. Zablon Eriro anasema Arsenal itatamba msimu huu na sio siri, tuko pamoja hadi tamati. Kauli yake nzito hiyo, anaangalia moja kwa moja. Na ni muhimu pia ukiniwekea mahali unatazama ukiwa ile kaunti ama eneo, naisoma vizuri. Ngoja nione nyingine. J Owaga Jiliksi Kigali. Ikiwa kule wanakuambia ni Chigali. Angalia sisi tunangoja. Jubilee wanafanya mambo yao. Walisema 5, kasema 9, ziko vizuri zinaundwa. Love the show. EPL season 2019-2020 will be won by the mighty Manchester United. Mungu awatangulie. Mjumbe Atenya anasema hiyo jezi nikiipewa itaanzisha msimu wangu wa EPL vizuri kimtindo kistaili. #topsport Aida Waringa Yosho Makorian TV Kenya. Konto hiyo. Jacob Ochenga anasema through it's very challenging. We should always expect the unexpected. Sport pesa ametengeka. Our government is somehow a disgrace in terms of sports is concerned. We have waited for the international sport stadiums to be built in Kenya for the past 7 good years, but nothing has taken place. Surely Bandari lazima mtoke Mombasa mje Nairobi. Inauma. Fai. Ikemea hiyo. Arsenal did the best signing. Go the Gunners. Naitwa Flobi Flora. Kauli nzito hiyo. Matwiti leo yanakuja kwa mpigo. Mwariri wangu hapa wa Robe Kiru alikuwa anatema madini kiukweli kutoka eneo la kuingililia Kasarani. Anaona anageuka anafanya mambo yake kule. Mjumbe Atenya anasema North Africa teams and the clubs usually give us shida, hoping Bandari watafanya mambo yao majambos. Kauli nzito hiyo. Zilete na zisoma leo, niko na roho. Wilfan Bosuben anasema Wilfan Bosuben, Manchester United fan. Best signings in APL alikuwa ni Rodrigo, Manchester City, and I think City will retain their cup. Watatetea. Nyonyo hii leo. Huyu anaitwa Nyambane Ena anasema tema madini vizuri. Mungu ni mkuu. Madini ya kiukweli. Wapi kwingine utapata madini yaliyoenda skuli kama haya? Joshua Kwanya huyu anasema wao kama magurudumu ya Yokohama wako vizuri. Hii ni Chelsea. Na wamesema Lampard yarejee kule na kwa mwalimu mkuu. Acha nimeze mazee yanakuja vibaya. Zablon Riro, Arsenal itatamba msimu huu na sio siri. Naona hapa ameweka sajili yao hapa iko vizuri. Terne. Kama linasema hivyo. Mimi sijali. Saa Viki anasema Omwando. Anasema ule uzito wa kunam na quality is debatable. I'm persuaded City, Liverpool are in different class. Yosho Makori madini ya uswayo uko vizuri, lakini ukiingia hiyo sehemu nyingine inakuwa shida. Kwa hiyo kwa mara nyingine sasa meli tena inaingia chini ya maji. Kwa hiyo kiibuka sana kuja kukaa mkao kidogo. Kabla nilete mafansi na kana dada mmoja ambaye amechezea Thika Queens, ametesa hapa na pale, milango yake imefunguka. Ipo siku yake ndio hii shakuja. Wameandamana na Simon Mlama ambaye alikuwa ni moja kati ya wachezaji wazito katika Harambee Stars na soka hapa nyumbani. Ila yeye leo namweka pembeni. Leo mimi ndo kocha. Alafu nakaa na ule dada. Iko vizuri. Kwa sasa tulia ulipo.